Ready?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, you. How you doing? So I got out of my couch. Got my fat ass out of the couch because quarantine is just making me fat. Anyway,
And you came to fatten here.
I just came to fatten here because she gave me muffins. But
And
sikupendi by the
samosas.
sikupendi kai
Unanipenda,
samosas. Samosa ni
unanipenda.
gold hapa, gold. Anyway, so I just decided to come see my friend Aurelia, and we were just chatting away because this one here is a travel guru. Travel guru.
I think guru.
Guru.
Okay,
so, and I just thought, I think it's about time she starts giving us her secrets, because that us see we want to be, flying here on a boat there, on a yacht there. We want those experiences, and I think she's gonna give us everything, like all
the
those
first
tips.
tip, just get a sponsor. Just get a sponsor. Oh, it's like how to travel sponsor free.
Who are like not very attractive to the sponsor is. What do we do then?
How to travel without a sponsor. That's what we're gonna talk about.
First of all, let me introduce her. This is Aurelia Marcellus.
Yes.
The beautiful, the amazing goddess you see
here.
Okay. Feel yourself. Nikiendelea na kugas.
Yes, girls. Chocha.
The beautiful, the super awesome brown girl.
Yes,
everything.
Karibu.
Unafura kichwa.
Acha nitaki mpembe. Zimerudishwa ndani.
Beautiful Aurelia, who has been a friend of mine since I landed in the Netherlands. Let's do a funny story. Funny story.
Okay, so in my other life outside YouTube and TikTok, I happen to be a lawyer, an international criminal law lawyer, and then so the whole case was going on, and I was doing some job over there. So I met the ICC guys, and then I think in the mix I met. That was during, I don't know which year that was, I've forgotten, but that was during the Uhuru Ruto case.
It was 2014.
2014,
yes.
I think. Yeah, okay, 2014. I'll believe you. So I was in those legal circles, and then I met this guy. It's like, guy, Sasa, how are you? I'm like, fine, thank you. He looked like I'm kubwa, So I'm like, okay, sawa. He said, oh, my sister-in-law is here, and she's lonely. She needs friends. And at that point, I'm like, okay, so how do I come in? So
how did he really come in like that? As in, it's
but
just
it's funny because we were so many Kenyans, though.
But it was true. I was lonely.
Okay. At that point, I didn't know it was you, Wendy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Sour. So I'm like, what do I do with this information? I even called my friend Beverly, and I told her I met this guy, and he's telling me that I should hit up this girl because she's really feeling like lonely. And she was like, okay. So I gathered courage. I think like a week went by because he gave me your number. And I was like, just give me the number, and then maybe I'll contact. So I'm like, how do I do this? How do we go about it? And then I said, okay, Sawa, let me just gather the courage. I said, how do I tell her? Like, hey, you want a friend? You're like, did I send you a text or did I call?
You called me.
Oh yeah, I called. So I was like, if I send a text, it will be weird. So let me just call. I was like, guys, Sasa, so your brother-in-law told me you're lonely. Here you just moved and you don't have friends. So I guess we're friends.
Yeah, I was just like, what? And then in my head on the other side, I'm like, it's true.
It's true though.
I'm like, I need friends, so let me just suck it in and just be like, yes, I'm lonely and I need friends. So that's what I told. Then we laughed it off, and then I was just like, okay, you know what, let's meet up. There's a Kenyan thing going on this weekend.
Hey, those days I was plugged in, man. Like,
you had all the
excuse me.
parties.
I used to know like where it's happening, where it's Kenyan happening. Where,
So we picked up, met up at the station, and we went for some Kenyan party.
And then you also moved to my neighborhood, and that was it.
Like
That
we
was
were
it.
neighbors. It
Like
was
neighbors,
amazing.
Kabisa.
So
That
nice.
was nice. That was
To have
nice.
someone who just speaks Swahili, just like
Good
you
times. I'm
understands
like,
where
when
you're
if you
coming
go
from.
to the
struggle.
supermarket, kujia pilau iko hapa, and it's like, yeah, that was nice.
I know,
Good
I
times.
know. So that's how we met. That's our story of how we met. And Aurelia, ever since I've known her, has always been like going to places. Like she's here, she's in Egypt, she's in Cambodia, she's God knows where. Every time. It's like, hey, can we hook up this weekend? Oh wait, sorry, Nico, New York. I'm like, who are you? Who are you?
Sponsor.
And can we share? So anyway, so me, I was just like, okay, Saz, this one needs now to tell us what and how she does it. And most of us are always thinking on a budget, because I can imagine even if you have cash, I mean, not if you have a lot of cash, but if you have cash, you have other things that you need to do. You need to invest, or you need to, school fees to pay, you bills to pay. And so how do you also budget for travel? So yeah, so Aurelia, we're gonna ask you, so what are 4-5 things that Black people, and also people just from Africa, not just Kenya but Africa, what are these people who sometimes we find it very hard to travel because it's nyawale watu, what are the 5 things that you can tell us that will get us started on the dream of traveling and seeing the world?
First thing that I always say, and I say this with all the love and affection, kwa sababu our people like traveling with the mouth. You need to
let us travel with our mouth.
Yeah, let us take a whole trip. No, it's not even about affording though. Yeah. Like a lot of people are like, can we go here, without the intention of traveling? Okay. So that's what I normally tell my friends. If you want to be about this life, you need to have an intention to want to travel actively, or even from time to time. The first thing is normally the intention and the flexibility. Flexibility is another thing, but I think intention is very important for you to have an intention to travel.
Sorry, let me cut you there. So when you say intention, does this mean we need to have some set of dates? Like okay, right about December I want to be going, or December to March I need to be going somewhere? That's intention, really setting a date.
No. If something COVID has taught me, or even broke traveling, is that there needs to be a flexibility around it. Okay. So what I do, I say I want to see 5 countries or 5 new countries in this year, and I want to travel to 10 places. So 10 places would be places of 5 will be the minimum, and then 10 will be just going somewhere as well. So it can be like within the country, but you have the 10. So once I have the 10, like in my intention calendar, I just tick out the places that I've gone to.
So it doesn't have to be I want to go to the corner of Australia and then the next time corner of Alaska.
No, it doesn't have to be a grandiose. It's not like actually this year I'm going somewhere, because that also puts pressure. So when I say intention and flexibility, it's just more like I'm gonna put 10 places that I want to go to within the country, outside the country, and then I'll just go to those places. I normally say I want to go to 5. Last year was 10 countries for me. I went to 5 that I've been to, and I went to 5 new ones. Okay.
Write down I want to go to X amount of places.
Yeah. I want to visit 3 countries this year. Right. I want to visit, let's say, 5 places within Kenya. I want to go to Bungoma, Kisumu, Mombasa, Kajiado, just that. That is how you start now with traveling. Once you do the first one, the second one, you feel like, okay. So
you're a pro.
Yeah, you're a pro.
You're a pro. Let's talk about flexibility.
Okay, flexibility.
How do you work with flexibility when, say, there are people attached to work, or attached to, we are at home, you need to be with your kids, or your time is not as open as you would like.
And so this is why I tie intention and the number of countries with flexibility, because in your calendar you have 10 places you want to go to. Yeah. And even if you have a busy life, once you've set that intention for you, you will try and make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So there are places you can go with your kids, and there are places you can go with friends or something like that. So this is how flexible I can be sometimes also, how to work out flexibility. I'm like, my birthdays, I have to be somewhere new.
Yes.
When it's my half birthday, I want to be home.
Mm-hmm.
That's normally like around December.
Uh-huh.
Or when it's this time, I want to be here. When it's Easter, let's go somewhere new.
Yeah.
So even if you have a family, then you just incorporate them in that. And then if you have a family and it's now a lot of money, you slow it down to a place that you want to be. So let's say if you're in Nairobi, you say, let's try Arusha. Arusha, you can take a bus or something, and then you're there. By flexible also is the means of travel. Sometimes I've been in buses for like a good 10 hours to get to where I'm going.
That's my nightmare.
That's traffic in Nairobi. I need to teach you how to entertain yourself like during travel. Like one of the weirdest things I do is people watch. I'm like, so where is this person in their life? Are they living their wife? Are they cheating?
Oh my God.
We are a car sponsor. I give a whole story about someone before you realize 6 hours has passed. That's what I do. That's how I entertain myself. Weird, but we move.
Just get creative. I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we know we have the intention down and we know when we are flexible to move, what about visa? Visa tunaendanga tunastressiwa sana huko visa. Unasimama huko kama kukume, umenyeshewa just because denied embarrassingly in front of you.
I've talked about this visa thing like for a very long, like also in one of the videos that I made, and how visas work. If they say visa is on arrival, take advantage of that.
Okay. Because
I know the anxiety of traveling with like a Kenyan African passport, because sometimes you're there and you're like, you're about to be taken back, after several hours.
Yeah.
So I will give a perfect example. Singapore was my first visa on arrival place, and maybe it's not the first because Tanzania here is visa on arrival. That's also
now we have the e-passport.
Yeah. Uganda is that is what we mean by visa on arrival. Hiyo ukifikanga kwa border unachapiwa stamp.
So with those countries you don't have to go to their embassies to get a visa beforehand.
Yeah. And for example, Kenya has up to 70 countries that you can go to without a visa.
70?
Yeah, I think it has close to 70. Kuna Jamaica, which we need to travel to.
Jamaica.
Usiende
bila mimi. I'm so done. Kuna bestie Facebook ako huko ako kule and she's your friend. How am I not in those travels?
Yeah. I think Kenya has like close to 70 places you can go visa on arrival. And you can take advantage of that because then just organize your trip. So you've had like your 5, your big 5 or the big 3. If you don't want this visa hassle and the anxiety, visa on arrival enables you first to book a ticket around the time when you'll be available. It allows you to save up if it's something you need to save up for. And then once you know the country that you're going to, visa on arrival type of thing, then you can find now ways of making it very cheap. Okay. Because the reason why sometimes travel become very expensive is because I'm waiting for, let's say, the visa to come to the Netherlands.
Right.
And I don't get approved until like 3 days before I fly. So the flight is now expensive.
Oh God.
And
yes, that is.
And now the accommodation is now expensive. Yet, if I know that I have Jamaica, if I have Jamaica, I can easily start looking for cheaper alternatives around seasons when the tickets are cheap, and that's also the flexibility. Nice. So if you have to take a leave from work or dump your kids to their grandmother, around what time you'll be like, Mami, ni January lakini hii October ninaleta watoto, so you are babysitting, my friend. Organize yourself.
Sindi watoto ni wetu sisi
ni
wote.
Wetu, yeah. So, then that is like around that's also the intention, flexibility, visa on arrival, and then that's how you make it cheap. One of the main things that I've noticed that makes things very cheap is resort accommodation. Huko kuna chakula,
Oh.
Kuna pombe kama unataka.
Oh.
Yes, when you're paying money, it looks expensive because it's like a big nini, but you.
So is this what you call a package deal? When
Yeah,
you're booking, it's
yeah.
a package deal.
Yeah, like a package deal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is normally what I go for. So, like if you're in Europe right now, you can have one of those agencies that get chartered flights.
Mm-hmm.
So they charter a flight for you, they do transfers, and they do the accommodation. But just resort as it is, as a form of accommodation, especially if you're going with friends and it's very cheap than just getting a regular hotel. So it's weird, but you can try this with Kenya. If you know you're going to Kenya like for 2 weeks, you can take 2 weeks with TUI, for example. Go to Mombasa. See, you have your car resort, you've paid 700 for 2 weeks. 700 everything, including everything.
Yeah.
You dump the hotel for 2 days, you run to Nairobi, see your peeps, and you come back.
What? That is a cool idea.
You get what I mean? Like,
so TUI is just one of those travel
agencies or companies.
Yeah. So I know Kenya already has a few that's organizing these Easter package deals. I know you've seen them.
Yeah.
But the same. So
this is what I did with Egypt as well. We went to a place, it was Hurghada, and then it was an 8-day deal. Swam, I was tired of the water. I was like, you know what, I want to go see the pyramids. I took another flight, went, saw the pyramids, and back.
And you're back. So and you're doing multiple travels within
that
travel
place, yeah,
with this one amount of money.
Yeah, the same amount of money. So even if you're using extra, it's just kidogo.
Yeah.
You can now from there like find a gari that takes you somewhere. Yeah, then at least you're saving money. But if you say, okay, I want to go to Alexandria, and then I want to go to Cairo, and then I want to go to Hurghada and Masalam, all this time
trying
the places
you're trying to
book all these places. No, you find that one place, you leave your bag, go for a day, even if it's to Luxor or somewhere. In this case, if you're in Nairobi, you bring yourself to Nairobi or Mombasa. In Mombasa, you go to Savo, you go to Nairobi, or you go to Kisumu, like real quick. We go to Jumbo Jets, Nama SGR.
I know.
You go, you finish your 2 errands, Nairobi 2 days, then you're back.
Yes.
But if you say right now you want to book a ticket to Nairobi, and then you want to find hotel for the number of days in all the different places you're going, and
it's the flight ticket will be say 1,500 euros,
transfer,
which is like 150,000 Kenya shillings, and then you have to go get a hotel for another 100 to 200, and at this point you could actually pay about 100,000 for the resort deal, and then you can escape.
Especially with people with families, this is a very good idea.
Exactly, yeah.
Because who wants to stay home for months?
Yeah, months. There you have it. Those are Aurelia's big tips on getting you started on your travel dream.